Okay, thank you very much, Pilar, for the presentation and for organizing this. Well, first the cost action and also this training activity. So my turn. I am going to present the Traction project. It is an H2020 European project. We started working on this at the very beginning of the year, at the 1st of January of 2020, and we are going to be working and researching in Traction for the following 2 more years, so until the end of 2022. So first of all, well, I'm Mikel Zorrilla. I'm a male, 36 old. I have white skin, short and dark hair, and blue eyes. I'm wearing a face mask, and I'm in my office. And as I said before, I'm the head of digital media at VICOMTECH, which is a research institute located in San Sebastian in the Basque Country, and I'm also the project coordinator of Traction. Traction is the acronym, and the longer name of the project is Opera Co-Creation for a Social Transformation. So I'm going to take the following, I don't know, around 10 minutes to explain a little bit more what we are doing in Traction, and I'm going to focus more in the overall objectives and what's the project. I mean, what we want to do in the project, the aims of the project, rather than explaining specifically what we are doing at the moment and the activities that we are doing at the moment. So if someone is interested in that, don't hesitate to contact me. You have the email address here. So I will be very happy to explain more in particular what we are doing in the different trials and in the different activities. So the Traction ecosystem, we are 9 partners. We have 3 opera houses or opera-related organizations. So on the one hand, we have in Barcelona Liceu, which is the opera house in Barcelona. We have also Irish National Opera, which is also an opera in Ireland, and SAMP, which is an art school in Leiria, in Portugal, and very related also to opera activities and other kind of artistic activities. And those are leading the 3 trials that we have in Traction. But of course, we are other kind of partners. We are research institute and universities such as VICOMTECH, UAB, which is the university from Pilar, CWI, DCU, the Dublin City University, and we have other partners also like Virtual Reality Ireland, which is a producer of content, of immersive content, virtual reality, 360 videos, and so on. And also Francois Matarazzo, which is an expert on community art, and he has written books and worked in a lot of community art, different works. And we have international advisors and also local advisors on each one of the different trials that we have, and these are some of the logos that the people that are supporting us in the project. So what was the motivation to work in Traction? So we believe that the inequality is one of the defining issues in our time. And it creates a seed, or it creates an ecosystem that makes very easy some promises of populists, and they could seem attractive in the inequality life and ecosystem where we are living. And we really believe that Europe is a cultural space, or it is nothing. So we think that we have to work to preserve. This is what we call the European values, and that's something that came with Europe from the very beginning. So on this ecosystem, we think that opera is in the heart, in the middle of everything, because it's an art representation where a lot of disciplines are working on. You have singing, you have art representing, you have costumes, you have a lot of different disciplines of art that are working together and combined in opera, which is passion, it's drama, it's beauty, and it's been inspiring a lot of generations. But we are aware that today the spectator is typically a 54-year-old woman with higher education, travels by car, and spends on a night of culture around 159 euros. So at the moment, opera is in danger to be not the symbol of the European values and so on, but the symbols of the European inequality that we are facing. So it needs to renew completely and be once again, as it was, the root of a living culture. So in this ecosystem, we envisioned three different challenges in Traction. The first one is that we want to bring new ideas, novel ideas of co-creation and participatory art to involve citizens in this process. We believe that opera needs to be representing the whole society. So we need to involve the citizens, and we want to prioritize those who are currently marginalized or ignored by opera, or they don't feel represented by the current performances of opera. Let's say the poor, the migrants, people living outside the dominant cities that don't have access to theaters or an easy access to theater, people with disabilities, and well, a lot of people that don't feel represented by opera. And we want to do that, empowering those people, empowering those communities to become creators in their own rights and express their vision of the European values, because Europe, it's all, we all make those values. So it's very important to integrate all and to show the diversity of the citizens. The second challenge is to create a novel form, a novel language. If we want to create a completely novel audiovisual format with brave experiments and creating and using technology for all these things. So we believe that or opera learns to speak another languages, or it's going to be in a future of irrelevance. And I already mentioned technology, but it's the third challenge. We must embrace the technology and new technologies, because that's the way to achieve the two aforementioned challenges. Is what can technology bring to the co-creation process? How can we coordinate, create a community dialogue between the different participants, the professionals, and the different communities? How can we support the conversation between all of them towards co-creation? And how can also technology bring these novel audiovisual formats, extending traditional formats of performances, of opera performances with new technologies, and even creating completely digital, immersive performances of opera? So these were the three challenges of Traction. And of course, we are aware that Traction, our ambition is not to solve all the challenges and all the things that we were saying, because that would be a bit naive, but at least we want to create an important step, and to do that in the right direction. So our project is going to be very experimental. Not everything will work, but at least we want to share all the knowledge in this way that we are doing, and we are very committed to share everything that we learn with all the community, and continue a work that already some of us did before us, and that people will continue after the project, so we can share everything. So I mean, we at least provide a step in the right direction. So our vision is that Traction will create a bridge between the opera professionals and those specific communities that, as we said, we are focusing in those that are at risk of exclusion, to foster an effective community dialogue between diverse individuals and collectives. So we want to research, design, and develop a collaborative and participatory production toolset, so they can really work together, create together, and also perform together, and also define and implement a community-centric research and evaluation methodology to conduct this effective dialogue between heterogeneous communities, and measure how this collaboration works. And of course, in the heart of our aim is to promote a sustainable, capable of evaluation and replicable approach for other art disciplines and communities. We are very focused in opera, but we think that the work that we are doing is also for other performing arts or other environments. So I already mentioned, but we have three different trials that are fostering a co-creation. So the first one is focused in Barcelona. It's led by Liceu, and they are co-creating an opera with the Raval neighborhood. Raval neighborhood is a very diverse neighborhood in Barcelona, with a lot of nationalities, a lot of cultures, and Traction aims to promote a social inclusion. Pilar already talked about the social inclusion, because we want to really work with all kind of professionals and non-professionals, or maybe professionals but are not used to work to opera, so mix the professionals of opera and other kind of communities that are working in creating costumes, in creating I don't know, design assets and so on, and put them together to co-create an opera from zero that will be represented in the Liceu Theater. On the other hand, we are working also in another trial in Leiria, and SAMP is leading this co-creation of an opera if in a prison, in a young there are young inmates in this prison, and the objective is to start from zero, working in this opera with the objective of lowering the rate of criminal recidivins among young inmates and engage them with this co-creation process in opera. And the third one is the trial in Ireland that Irish National is leading that. And they are more focused in using technology towards the creation of novel, fully digital audiovisual formats and bring these novel digital formats to the whole Ireland, where there are a lot of rural areas that don't have access to opera theaters and so on. So bring to the whole Ireland a full vision of the country with this co-created opera. Okay, so we have 5 different objectives in the project. The first one is to promote through their empowerment a transformation of the communities at risk of exclusion. That's the first thing that we want to do as an objective. The second one is to create a collaborative and participatory production workflow for the co-creation and co-design of art representations. And in these directions, we are already creating different tools, traction toolset that will enable the different steps, like the first part of the co-creation, that then how to extend with technology the performances and so on. The third objective will be to lay down a community-centric research and evaluation methodology to conduct an efficient and measurable community dialogue that will be replicable and that will last in time. So that's a very important objective also. The fourth one was implicitly mentioned, that was to explore these novel audiovisual formats based on European cultural heritage, such as opera. As I said, we are focused in opera, but that will be standard for other environments. And of course, to maximize all the social and the market impact of the traction results. So that's all, and I just wanted to share that to say that it's very important for traction, as Pilar said, the social inclusion, since in a community representation, it's I mean there are different axes that are relevant, but for example, the artistic value of the outcome of the opera could be very relevant, and it's very important, but also all the process and how we integrate work and really understand between different citizens and different communities, and during the process, that's also a very, very relevant axis of this process that Traction wants to work. And it's not also working for a opera production, but all the process in this co-creation involving people, and really people feeling part of what's being represented, and the story that it's being told in the opera is very important for us. And how technology can help for this inclusion towards this co-creation, and also for the let's say participative performance is very important. So I hope it was clear, and I'm very open, as I said, not only to share the experience and the main goals of what Traction is, but also to be more specific on what we are doing, what kind of technologies we are developing, which is the status of the different trials, and I'm very open to discuss all the details if you're happy to. So thank you very much for the invitation, Pilar, and I'm here for the questions now or by email or whenever you want.